worries on my mind, it's been a tough week. My life feels a void, there's something that I need. My supplies on the table, I grab a comfy seat. I need to craft to put my mind at ease. Crafting changed my life, it mends my soul. In my happy space, I'm in full control. It's crafting time, craft my troubles away. Give me a world of color to brighten up my day. Crafting videos on, searching what I can do. Sipping on my drink, feeling inspired and new. Crafting's good for the soul, it's so true. Bringing beauty into the world through. As I craft, my spirits start to climb. It's not just a pastime, it's a state of mind. It's more than just a hobby, it's a way of life. I express myself, everything is feeling just right. It changed my life, it mends my soul. In my happy space, I'm in control. It's crafting time, craft my troubles away. Give me a world of color to brighten up my day. Crafting videos on, searching what I can do. Sipping on my drink, feeling inspired and new. Crafting changed my life, it mends my soul. In my happy space, I'm in control.
Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Hey Gifted Crafters, and welcome back to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. Good morning out there. It is TGIF, yes, and it couldn't come any sooner. This has been a pretty rough week, at least in this household. I hope you guys had a decent week and you've made it to Friday, so congrats there. It is nice to be able to kind of look forward to a nice little weekend here. Won't be a long weekend, but it'll be a weekend. So we'll take what we can get, right? Alrighty, I see everyone tuning in from all over the place. Northeast Arkansas. Wow, Maryland. Uh-oh, it's rainy over there. We've got California. We've got Virginia. Oh my goodness. San Antonio, Texas. It looks like it's pretty stormy over there. Richmond, Illinois. Good morning. And we've got our friends in Canada. Hey, how are you? Awesome. Okay, I think everyone's kind of pulling in from Missouri as well. Hello, good morning, good morning. Okay, I think everyone's kind of starting to settle in. And if you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Nancy with GiftsHQ, and these are just our daily morning sessions to just get our crafting going, right? We've got to get ourselves inspired. We'll do a little bit of crafting news, maybe do a little project, share some tips, trips. I do some demos. I do all kinds of things for all kinds of crafts like sewing, quilting, crocheting, decoupage, which we haven't even touched on in the morning show yet. And there's just so much more that's out there. So we like to kind of do a little bit of everything and share a little bit of tips. So jump into the chat and just say hello, because we're all friends out there and we like to share and help each other out. Okay, yes, I see more people tuning in. Louisiana, Michigan, Minneapolis. Awesome. Okay. Alrighty, guys. I think we're going to go ahead and get started. If you haven't, go ahead and grab that little drink of yours, because we're certainly going to need it this morning. I've got myself a little café con leche, so a little coffee with milk this morning, and I'm hoping it's going to wake me up, although I woke up this morning to find out we ran out of sugar. So that didn't go very well, did it? So we're going to go ahead and do this without the sugar. Not the same, I know. Don't you hate that? I mean, gosh, you enjoyed your virtual visit with the food truck. Oh, no, I will not forget, Cindy, because I think I hear that coming down the line. Yep, here it comes. There's your virtual food truck. Yep, coffee, 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 and I bet they have sugar. So let's see, we've got all kinds of goodies out there. If you guys are interested, you know, don't forget it's Friday, so you've got your danishes, you've got your cupcakes, you've got all kinds of little things, even the healthy stuff that's out there. And yes, that was a little unicorn to wake you guys up that passed by. Drinking water, Faker McFake. Nope, already had my first batch and wanted to get my sip of coffee in. Unfortunately, I ran out of sugar, so I will have to kind of go out and get some sugar today, ASAP, because we cannot be without that, right? You use honey in your sugar. Awesome. Well, let me pour you up a cup. Here's some nice hot coffee to get you going, and I hope you guys really enjoy a nice comfortable little drink and get yourselves in your nice cozy spot. So let's get nice and cozy and talk about crafting, shall we? Alrighty, I'm gonna do one last little sip. Yep, just not the same without the sugar. You use brown sugar in your café con leche, Heather. Okay. That I guess would work too. I don't even think I have any brown sugar left over. But yeah, I'm just going to have to go out and just get some sugar, like, real quick. Maybe I'll go on my lunch hour. Alrighty. So, let's see. We've got all our comments coming in. I think everyone's all settled with their drinks and their little snacks. So, let's get going, shall we? Okay. So, today we're going to kind of do a little bit of a continuation, and I'm going to bring in a couple of extra things that I have. Yesterday, if you didn't tune in, we were talking about free motion quilting, and we did a little hack. I did have something that was called a Sew Steady that I had purchased, and so we talked about how it didn't kind of fit in the machine, and so you would have to cut it, and there's all kinds of things you'd have to do it, and it is a little bit more pricey. So we went through kind of the motions and how we came up with a cheaper version that works for my machine, and it should work for all of you guys out there as well. So that's what we did yesterday, and then we kind of just tried it out really quick towards the end. So today I kind of want to do a little bit more free motion quilting, but we want to use some templates, and there's a couple of different products that I brought with me that I've had in my stash of things that you can use as templates, or they are templates, or, you know, all kinds of different tricks that I'm going to show you. So before we get into all of that, let's go over to our crafting news and let's get through that, because there's quite a bit there, and I just want to make sure that I get that over to you guys. So let's go over to our crafting news. Let's see. So some time ago, I told you guys about the Netflix documentary called The Quilters, and it's about 30 minutes long. It tells a story about men in a Missouri prison who are using quilting to kind of give back to society, one stitch or one quilt at a time. I recommend, if you haven't watched it, go ahead and give it a quick watch. It's only 30 minutes long. And I think, you know, it's really nice how it kind of ties in to it kind of ties in to society and how they're kind of giving back. So I think that was pretty cool. So now here's just a heartwarming update that kind of ties into that story. So the quilting group is called Friends First Quilters from Cambridge, Ohio, and they recently found out that some of the fabric they donated ended up being used by these very same men that were featured in the documentary. Now, these men are part of the oh boy, can't talk today. I'm getting tongue-tied. It's Restorative Justice Program at a maximum security prison in Lincoln, Missouri. Now, Melissa, who's one of the quilters, was amazed when she saw that their donated fabric was on the screen. And even more touching, the group sent boxes of supplies, fabrics, patterns, and a lot more, hoping to support the program, even though they didn't hear back right away. But just before Christmas time, they got a beautiful surprise. They got a handmade card from all the inmates that signed with the word of thanks, and even one message that said, "Well done, good and faithful servant." That they knew was just, you know, right off the bat, they knew that was just really kind, and they've reached the right people. And so today, the Friends First Quilters are more inspired than ever to keep sending their support to them, and they're proud to be part of something that kind of gives them meaning and hope behind the prison walls. So I thought that was really an amazing act of generosity to be seen between the two groups, and I think that's really nice that they can kind of, you know, quilt together and bring about a lot of hope and healing and second chances. So I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, so now let's go over to another trending tool here. So for the summer, we've got straw hats that may be, you know, that summer thing. So you've got, you know, like your Julia Roberts that had that nice big polo hat in the movie Pretty Women. But this year, a lot of people are kind of strapping out their crochet caps. Have you seen that? They are stealing the spotlight. So according to the British Vogue, these cozy and creative hats are one of the most latest crochet trends, and they're making waves this season. So this comes right after the crochet top trend that we kind of talked about is going on, and crochet is just having a major moment this summer. I mean, crochet is just kind of everywhere. I've seen it all over with the tops, with the hats. I mean, it's just all over the place. You can find a flowy dress, a little pants skirt. I mean, it's really amazing how it's really making a comeback. And so crochet caps have been around for many years. Back in 1971, the actress Ally McGraw even wore one of them to the Oscars. So they are all coming back with some fresh retro styles. And if you love wearing crochet caps, well, you're going to love this summer coming up, because they have some handmade fashions and creative flares that are just out there. So just don't forget that sunscreen, because those cute little crochet caps are really just styling today. So I don't know about you guys, but I am willing to kind of wear that little crochet cap because I think they're really cute. Okay, so we've got another one here. So last one we've got in Castle Rock, Colorado. We've got a quilt, craft, and sewing festival that's happening right now at the Douglas County Fairgrounds, and there's still time to kind of enjoy some of those hands-on demos. They're doing your favorite shop vendors are out there, and you can just soak up tons of inspiration there. If you want information on that, you've got quiltcraftsew.com. Just visit that site. They've got all the info there. And then from the custom apparel world, we got the Decorative Apparel Expo that's happening today and tomorrow, and that is in Schlumberg Convention Center in Chicago. So if you're in that area, the trade show is all about embroidery, screen printing, and heat press design. So head on over to that, and you can get more information on that at daxshow.com. That's daxshow.com. Okay, so guys, I'm letting you know about all of these amazing events, and if you're in the area, try to go ahead and attend some of these events. And if you do, let us know on the Facebook group, because I'd really like to know if you were able to attend any of these events, and just let us know, you know, if you had a good time and what you saw there, because we really would like to know and share the information. Or maybe you have some local things going on that maybe I haven't mentioned, but you can put that on our Facebook group as well, because we'd love to support as well and get the word out. Alrighty, so trends come and go, but you know, a heart of a gifted crafter never unravels, right? So now let's kind of get to our little project here. Okay, so couple things I'm going to show you. First off, I'm going to show you, this is a quilt, kind of a mini table runner I did. Now this is a pattern by Little Jojo, and let me just get a little pattern out of here. It's really tiny. It's a table runner. It's by GE Designs, and this uses just a charm pack. So 5-inch squares. This is what the pattern looks like. You can do all kinds of colors. I happen to have a charm pack of little Halloweenish things. So it looks a little Halloween, maybe a little early for that, but that's okay, because I'll have it nice and ready to go. So I have already whipped it up. Excuse me, my throat, boy. It is asking for that coffee. I have already whipped this up here. Now, just kind of unravel it. And I've got it here all made up. And there were just little charm packs that you put together. And let me just hold this a little bit so you guys can see that. Okay, let's see. Can we see that here? Okay, I think that looks better. Let me move it over this way so you can see more of it. So, it's, again, a quick little 5-inch charm pack, hold it together. You make these little squares here. I mean, it's a pretty quick and simple little quilt. It's called Little Jojo. And I believe you can just get these probably online, maybe in, I don't know if Amazon is still available. I mean, this was quite a long time ago that I got the pattern. And so I just kind of whipped this up. And then what I did was I just found a little backing on here with some speckles that I thought would be pretty cute for the back. And this is called Speckled by Ruby Star Society. And it's 100% cotton here. So I thought that would be a nice little backing. And then I just have some cotton batting in between. And then what I'm doing here is called the basting pinned method. So there's several ways to baste, as you know. You can, take your quilt top, you can spray it down with some adhesive on here. Some people will pin baste it like I did here. And so you'll see I have several pins in different locations. I kind of spreaded them out to keep the 3 together because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to quilt this anytime soon. So I had kind of pin basted it like this, and then I put it away. So now it's time to kind of drag it back out because we do need to finish this off. And I wanted to kind of do a little bit of some free motion quilting on here. And then what I was going to do is possibly add some borders, or maybe just go ahead and do the binding. And so the binding, you'll have your nice little orange strap here on the bottom. So I might do just a small little border all the way around. I'll have to see in my stash if I have something little that's kind of cute to kind of put it together. But this is kind of what it's going to look like for the most part. And I wanted to, again, just free motion quilt that. So I still had to decide what type of free motion quilting design, or maybe I want to use some templates to kind of quilt it together. So let's see what we did here. I'm going to move this over. So we've got several options of what we can use, and I'm going to kind of show you. This is something that I had in my stash for a while. This is probably one of the first quilting template sets that I purchased. This is by Dabline, and you can get this on Amazon. I think I have it in my shop. But when you open it up, it actually gives you a pair of gloves. So I do like that, because some people like to use the gloves and some people don't. I gave it a try with the gloves, and I kind of liked it because the gloves have like these little rubbery grippers here on the fingers, and they really help you to grab the fabric and move it as you'd like. But I could see where some people wouldn't like it because maybe the gloves didn't really fit them. You know, you may have bigger hands, little hands. But these seem to work okay for me, so I went ahead and I'm going to be using those. And then they have several different types of templates that you can pick from in this kit, which is pretty cool. First thing that they give you down here on the bottom, and this is something unfortunately I can't really use because my throat space is just too small. But for you guys with bigger machines, you'll be able to use this. And what I really like about this, it's got some little handles right here, so you can hold on to that and then just kind of slide and go ahead and quilt. And this little device right here, it really has some measures on the sides, and then you're able to put in the quilting template that you want to do. You just kind of put that in the middle. So I'm going to grab a couple here. I can show you how many we have. So this is one, and this is their little card here. This is one that is called Bubble Border. And you can open this up here. I can show you what you would do with it. Now, each template comes with a little blue card that'll show you what the design would look like, which is pretty cool. It'll show you exactly what the quilt is going to look like once you've done this template. And then it has some instructions on the back. So you've got your little instructions on where you start and where you stop. And so that's pretty cool. And then what you do is you just kind of put the template in place. 1 Minute Tips is asking, where did you get this kit? Is it in your Amazon shop? Yes, it's on Amazon. If you'd like to get it for your daughter, it is on Amazon, and you can purchase that. And it'll have it's the same template kit, although I bought it a while ago, it's still out there. So you can buy that, and you can put in all the different templates that you would like to make. So this one, like I said, is called Bubbles. You would just slide that right in here, and then you're all ready to go ahead and free motion quilt. You can just take this off if you need to cross over in, and it'll tell you this is where you start and this is where you stop. Is it expensive? I bought mine a while ago, but I didn't think it was too bad. No. And I don't know now with the prices flip-flopping the way they are lately. But when I bought it, it really wasn't too bad. I can't recall offhand what it was, but I know it wasn't too expensive. But it comes with the entire kit too. So you're getting a lot for it, which is really nice. So let me show you what the other templates look like. So here we've got Bubbles. We've got another one that's just a circle. Okay, so that's just the plain circle on here. And what I've done is, and let me tell you something about the circle one. The circle one kind of has 2 in 1. So you've got the circle itself that you can kind of pop out. Let me do this orange so you can really see. Nope, can't see that well too. I'll do it against the blue. And so you have this orange one. So you've got the outer circle, and then you also have the template itself that you can use as a circle. So you can do it either way. You can kind of pop this in and go ahead and do the circle this way, or you can use the circle itself and then just kind of take that and use this to go around. So whatever works for you, that's easier, which is nicer because for me, the smaller one actually works better for my machine since I don't have a lot of space on there. So that is the circle. And then you've got a couple of other ones. This one here is called Which Way. And that's what this looks like. This is what it looks like when you're quilting it. So it gives that little which way border. And again, very easy. All you have to do, have these little thingies on the bottom, so it's kind of hard for me to take it off, but slide it in and just pop it in there and you're ready to go. See, very, very easy. Now, it also gives you, they have a little package of 3M, and so on here you've got the non-slip guides that you can kind of pop in, and it gives you a whole pack of them, so you can put them anywhere you'd like. So if you don't want it to move around too much, you can put those on there. That'll help kind of hold it, so it gives you a little bit of resistance. So you could use that as well, but you don't necessarily have to if you don't want to. This one is the meander one, and this one's pretty used often. A lot of people like the meander look. Now this one is a little bit filmy because they all have this little plastic film that you can take off, and then it will actually look clear like this. I've left this one on because I haven't used this one yet. The little film that they have on there is really just to kind of protect it so that your templates don't get scratched. And I like the way they kind of individually wrapped each one of these, so you know you don't have too much of that issue because they are kind of protected on here. Okay. Other ones that you have on here is called the heart border. This one you kind of flip it two ways and you can make a heart. So that's pretty cool. Then you have cotton candy. This one a lot of people use as well. And then you have some Christmas ones. So you have one called Holly. And that's pretty cool. Use that a lot at Christmas time. And then we've got one that's just a swirl that you could use as well. So it gives you a nice little selection to start off with. And it does also give you this little gadget here that helps to kind of remove the film when you're first starting out. So that's pretty cool. But what I found was this was just a little too big for my machine. I can use it, but I found after a while it just kind of was a little bit too cumbersome with my small machine. If I had a bigger machine, then I would most definitely use it a lot more. So those are the templates here that come in that little box. So I wanted to show you that as an option that is out there. But another one that I have, and these are some that you can also get on Amazon, are the Honey Sew. Is the brand Dabline? Yes. Yes, the brand is called Dabline. I'll show it to you again. It's the quilting template set. Okay. And then the one that I'm going to show you now, they're a little bit smaller. This is by Honey Sew. You can also get this on Amazon. Doesn't come in a box or anything, but it does have a bunch of templates that you can use. So let me just grab a couple of them. These are kind of templates that you can use to make another design, and you can kind of flip them around. Like there's little pieces of it, and then you can create a flower with it and things like that. And they have other things, like for example, this is called the spinning flower, and you can see it's just one little petal. So what you would do is you would go ahead and you would quilt this, and then you would turn it, and then quilt it, turn it, quilt it, turn it until you get the entire flower. And so it's pretty cool. and you can get some pretty cool designs on here. But what I would recommend is for all of these types of templates, you would kind of just take your time to learn it, practice it either on paper, and just kind of play with it before you put it onto your project. So there's all kinds of different ones. They've got a fan diamond. They have a fan crystal. They've got a little butterfly that they're calling feathers. Again, the spinning flower. And then there's some other ones that come in the packet. And you can find all kinds of different ones. Now, these I think were they took a little bit of time to kind of practice and get these to come out well. Again, fan petal on this one, fan flame, and then this one is called fan Delilah. So again, these are all ones that you kind of would just have to move them around to create the one design. So it takes a bit of practice to get these going. So I've got the one that was kind of a little hard to work with because it was a little bit big for my really tiny machine. And then I had these that required to have a lot of practice to kind of get things right. So I was kind of a little frustrated at that point, as I just wanted something simple that I could use. And then it kind of hit me, there's something that's even simpler that you can use. And let me just put these over to the side and I'll bring those out. And these are even more inexpensive. So it's kind of like this would work out for a lot of people, especially if you are in a very small space. So let me just grab those, stick these over to the side. And these, I've got a few on here. So these are ones that I was able to just pick up at Hobby Lobby, and you can kind of get these anywhere. And I have them kind of all in a ring so that it helps to keep them together. And let me just slide them all out here so you guys can take a look. And these are just little tiny rulers that you can pick up with all different shapes. And with the shapes itself, you can just do quilting. You've got a mini diamond that you can do just a really nice little diamond quilting, right? So you can kind of take this and just kind of bring this all the way down and have diamonds all the way down, or you can do them going across this way, or you can even do it on an angle and kind of create some visual interest with that. You've got your mini quarter square here. You've got your mini wedge. We've got the mini triangle at 120 degrees, the mini Rex, the mini tries, the mini octagons. So they're all like mini of some kind of shape. And so you even have the little Dresden down here. So I hope you guys can kind of see those. They're just all kinds of different shapes that you can get. And you can just quilt just with these. And these are super low price. You can get them very, very cheap. And, you know, these I just picked up at Hobby Lobby. I'm sure you can find these at your local quilt shops or at your local Hobby Lobby as well. So maybe some of the big box stores may have something similar that you can find, but we're going to just kind of go with some of these, and I think this is going to work out pretty well. So let's take a look at this, and I'm going to grab just a couple, and we're going to do some on the machine. So let me just get these out of the way. Okay. Oh, one more that I forgot to show you, sorry. There are some that you can pick up from the Missouri Star site. I've got plenty of those as well. Oh, here's another Hobby Lobby one. This is the mini diamond, and then I have a petal template that you can use. But you can also use these. These are kind of like a double thing here. So you've got your shape, but then you also have, these are like the different sizes. So this is like a 2-inch one with the seam allowance, and then you can kind of remove that and just use that. So, I mean, there's all kinds of different things that you can use as templates. Hexagons are really a lot of fun to do, and they're not too difficult to do on your machine. So again, practice, practice, practice. That always helps, but don't feel like you need to have a whole template kit to get started. You can really use anything, or you could just even simply use your ruler and just do some straight lines and then turn it and do straight lines going the other way. You can do the little diamond effect that way as well. So there's all kinds of different ways that you can quilt. So don't feel like you have to have a quilt template kit, or, you know, you have to be some type of an artist to do the free motion quilting. Just give it a try. And again, practice, practice, practice on these little small squares. Just do a little cakes like I have here. Very simple. I play around with it. And, you know, this is kind of just extra fabric that I have and some extra batting pieces. And then I just kind of make it work, you know, and I just kind of play around with that. So let's go over to the machine itself and bring this over. And let's see here. Okay. Let me flip some of this fabric on my side so I can kind of see what I'm grabbing here. Okay. And I'm going to turn this on. One thing that you have to remember to do is to lower your feet dogs. And I think I was using the machine yesterday, and so I did not do that. So let me go ahead and drop it. My machine, and every machine has it in a different place. Some of them just have a simple button. My machine has a little bit of a slider here down on the bottom, and so you have to slide the little lever to get the feet dogs to drop. Every machine has it in a different place, so just check your machine. You might be able to just kind of press a little button and have them go down. This is a pretty old machine, so it doesn't have a lot of the bells and whistles, I guess. Okay. Alrighty, so let's hear. I'm going to grab my foot pedal. There we go. So my feet dogs are nice and below on the bottom. And I think I've turned this on so you guys could see. And now let's just kind of grab something that we can quilt with. I'm just going to kind of put something together here out of my little scrap container here. We'll just grab something. Let's see, I think this will show good on the camera so you can actually see it. And I really don't care what the bottom looks like, so I'm just going to grab any one here. This is my little box of scraps that are mostly kind of cut down to squares. I'm sure that you guys have plenty of those, right? And then this is kind of some scrap batting that, you know, I don't really think I can use them for anything, but I like to kind of keep it just for things like this to kind of practice on. So got a lot of strips on here. And let's see, here's a piece that I could use. Let's go ahead and grab that. And I just used the rubber band to kind of keep them together because it's batting, so it's okay. And let's move these over to the side. So this is way more than I need, so I'm going to just grab one of these squares to use as my template, and I'm just going to kind of roughly cut that on here. I'm okay with just, you know, a very rough cut. We really don't need it to be perfect. So this is really just for practice. Okay, for a machine that does not have the capacity to drop feet dogs, cover them with an index card. Yes, yes, Krissa, absolutely. If you do not have that ability, go ahead and cover up with a index card so that your feet dogs do not grab onto the fabric. And so here I just made a very simple little quilt sandwich, just threw some on top here and have a little bit of thread here. Let's see if I can snip that off because it will kind of get in the way. There we go. Okay, and so now that my feet dogs are down, And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of slide that on here. Now, they do have an, I don't have the other one. I have two of the feet here. There's one specific that is for templates, and then there is your regular quilting foot. This one is specific for templates, and I use this kind of all the time. The whole reason for it is so that the template itself, and I have this up, so if you do not have the template foot, your template could potentially kind of go underneath because the foot itself is not thick enough to catch the template and keep it off to the side. I have two, and let me see. I don't know exactly where I have it, so I can't really show it to you. I'll try to pull it out for tomorrow just to give you a quick glance. But they are two different ones. They look almost similar to it. It's just one is thicker than the other one. And so it will allow the template to kind of stay outside and not slip underneath it. So that can happen. Every template is a little bit different. Some are thicker than others. And I can show you the dab line one. Let me give you an example of that one. You can see the thickness and difference there. Let's see if I kind of bump this up. This is about double the size of a normal template, and you can see just how thick that is. And that thickness really will play a role because you only have so much distance between the bed of your machine and your foot. And so you already have the quilt, which is going to take up a lot of space depending how thick your batting is, right? And then you have your template, and you don't want your template to slide underneath because that could potentially ruin whatever it is you're trying to do here. And so you have to make sure that you use the right foot for it. And those are also available. I've seen them on Amazon as well, that you can pick those up. So if you're interested in that. But we're just going to be using, we're going to try this little mini octagon one. And so I'm just going to kind of stay somewhat in the middle here. Maybe I'll do it about here. I think I'll try that. And so I'm going to go ahead and put my foot down, and I'm going to put my needle down and pick it back up. That way I can kind of grab that bobbin. Let me just grab my little thing here. Hope I have better luck than yesterday. Yep, there it is. I see the bobbin, and I'm picking up. There we go. And did I just lose it? No, I didn't. Let me try it again, just in case. Here it is. Oh, come on. And so you see it's picked up the bobbin, and so all I want to do is kind of grab that and pick that up as well. Okay, so now I have both pieces there, and I just kind of push them off to the side and see if they won't get in my way here. Okay. Now that I have this, I'm going to keep this centered. And you know, they do give you the gloves on that dablon side. I'm going to go ahead and put those on so you guys could see that. And I can kind of show you because it does help with the grip. You got to kind of get used to it though. I wasn't used to kind of doing it with the gloves. I kind of felt like, oh my gosh, I can't really feel the fabric with my hands. But because of the little glue thingies on the bottom, it does kind of help to grip things a little bit better. So I thought, you know, it's pretty cool that you can do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, because my feet dogs are down, you know, you are the regulator, you know, you're not going to have the feet dogs moving the fabric. So you have to move the fabric for the machine. So if you move too quickly, you're going to have really short stitches. If you move too slowly, you're going to have these really long stitches. So you just kind of have to play with it a little bit and try to get yourself into some type of a rhythm. And that just takes some practice to do. So let's try this out and see how we do. it's been a while, so let's see how good my memory is on this. And I kind of go slowly, and then I'll make the little turn. And then I will turn it again as I approach. And it is a little difficult with the gloves, I'm finding, but I think it's okay. And you just kind of keep pausing whenever you feel like you need to pause. I might have a little bit of a pucker because I haven't been stretching it. Oh, there it is. I'm trying to go really slow. I want nice short stitches for me, so I want to show you the difference. And then you just kind of move it around. And now I'm going to kind of delay it. So I want to change my stitch size and see if I can get them longer. Okay, I kind of went over a little bit there, but that's okay. So let me lift this up, and let's just cut our threads there, put our template down. And so I want you to see the difference. I think you can kind of see how really tight. Look at the difference here. If we can get the SoCam. Let's do the difference here. Okay, can you guys see that? See how very tight the stitches are? I'm kind of blocking the light a little bit. There it is. You can see how tight they are here. And then as I continued, they remained tight, and then I started to change it. And so now you'll see the stitches are a little bit longer. And you can really see that here. See how they're tight, and then they go a little bit longer. That's the difference, and that's what you have to kind of play with. And so you start to see your design coming in, but you can also change your stitch length, because remember, you are the regulator on your machine now. So it depends, you know, how quickly you're turning, how quickly you're moving the fabric. You can really change things around and make them a little bit longer, or you can make them shorter, you know, depending on the look that you want. And so you just have to kind of play around with it. But you can see here, you've got your nice little hexagon here, and you can do all kinds of designs with this. And you can totally just use any type of template to kind of change things up. You can do a template within a template, and then just kind of move things around that way. So I like the way you have that ability, and you flip it over to the back. I know that this one is a little harder to see because of the design, but you can see here, you kind of take these gloves off a little bit. Maybe that helps. Okay, so you can see here the very tight stitching, and then on the back you can't really tell how this changed, but on the front you can see that you had really tight stitches, and then you were starting to loosen up a little bit here. So you see how these are a little bit wider. So you get into a rhythm, and that's why it's really good to practice. Actually, the best way to do, especially if you're doing free motion, or even if you're just doing this with templates, is to take a piece of paper and then just kind of play with that on the paper and follow your hand and just kind of draw it with a pencil, and then just kind of follow what you would do when you were on your machine, you know, whether you're holding it, you know, just kind of do the motion with your hand to just kind of build that muscle memory, and then kind of bring it over to your machine and do little practice pouches like this to help you kind of bring that in to place and just help yourself decide, you know, how long you want your stitches to look like. So this one, you really can't tell too much because I didn't kind of exaggerate it all that much. But you can see it a little bit here where your stitches are a little longer, and then you see where we started off where they were pretty tight. So you can kind of play around with that. Now, again, there's all kinds of different templates that you can do. You can do little triangles. You can do so many different ones, and you don't have to spend a lot of money getting all kinds of different kits and things. There are some pretty neat ones available, but really be careful when you are selecting them and make sure that, you know, you have ample throat space to be able to move around with the template and whatnot. Because I'll show you on the dab line, this is the issue that I had. So this is their template here that has, you know, the little tray, and it has the little handles here on the side that's supposed to make it easy for you to be able to free motion quilt. And it is if you have the space, but I don't have much space right here, and so I can't even complete the design. The most I can get to is right here. I can't even reach this other area because I'm already bumped up against the sidearm here. So the handles kind of don't work for me, but you can just take the template itself and just do it this way and just holding it like this. So that still will allow me to go ahead and do the design. So just be mindful on the type of templates that you're getting, and be mindful of the throat space that you have available to be able to make that specific design. And if those don't work for you, go ahead and use these small ones. Trace the design on your quilt with your finger. It puts a type of memory in your brain. Yes, and another thing on that, Krista, is what I also have seen is some people will just take the templates themselves, and they will take a water-soluble marker or pen, and then they will go to the quilt itself, and they'll go ahead and they will take with that pen, the water-soluble pen, go ahead and make the mark and design it on the quilt. And then if you don't like it, you know, just hit it with the iron and, you know, you can get those heat erasable ones and you can start all over again. So if you really want to see what your design's going to look like, you can just draw it out. And then if you want, you don't even have to use the template. You've already drawn it out on your quilt. Just take your quilt to the machine and follow the lines, right? So you could do that as well. So if maybe using the templates are a little bit awkward and difficult for you, you can also draw them out onto your quilt and then just sew on the lines on your quilt. So that might help as well. So there's all kinds of different options that you can take when you're doing your quilting. And, you know, if free motion is just not your style and you want to use templates, you can do that. Or you can just draw something. If you're that artsy, you can just draw something on your quilt with those heat erasable or water soluble pens. Because if you mess it up, you can always just kind of erase it, right? And it doesn't hurt your quilt any. So I think that's pretty neat. So those are kind of some of the tips that I wanted to give you that you can do when you are quilting. And I haven't really decided which one to use on this particular quilt. I'm looking at some basic shapes like these, but I'm going to probably play around with it and then I'll see what I can quilt up and I'll let you guys see the results once I'm done. Okay, we are running a little bit low on time, so let's move over. And I'm going to go ahead and move us over to our inspirational quote of the day. And let me just grab my notes here. Let's see what we have. Okay, so today we have our inspirational quote of the day, and that is, "In quilting and in life, sometimes you just have to go with the flow." And that's exactly what I want you guys to do today. You know, if sometimes you get things and they don't work out, there's always alternatives out there that you can take when you are quilting. You don't have to use a template. You don't have to know how to draw things. You can just kind of make things up as you go. Draw onto your quilt if you'd like. You know, there's so many different options. So don't be afraid to kind of do things a little bit different and out of the box, because sometimes when you do those things, you'll surprise yourself and you'll be quite enchanted with what you come out with. So yeah, you're flowing today. Awesome. Go with the flow. Right. Awesome. Yes, that's exactly, you know, kind of just think out of the box and just see what happens. I mean, it's just fabric, right? We've got tons of that, and we can always kind of make another quilt. But don't forget to do your little samples, because that'll help if you don't want to kind of touch your project just yet. There's all kinds of different ones that you can do. I can share with you, we did a little project. Let me see if I have that with me. Actually, I think it's over here. There was a class that we took that did talked about rulers and free motion quilting. And one thing that they did was kind of combine embroidery with ruler work. And so this was a design that we did in class that they gave us. It was just a simple little embroidery design. And you can just take this and then do ruler work around it. And so in the class, unfortunately, ran over and we didn't have time to finish it. But this was one of the blocks that they gave us. And you have the embroidery design. It can be a very simple little design. And then you can kind of do ruler work around it. And I can kind of show you one. This was just samples that we were playing with different templates. So it doesn't really have any one design. It's just kind of all over the place. But these are just samples that you can do. So like this was something with just circles. And I don't know if you guys can see this very well. I'll try to go a little closer. It's got some green thread on here. And so you see the circles here. This is what we were doing, just playing with circles. And then you can kind of do something like that and then just have your embroidery in the middle. Wouldn't that be something really different, right? So tons of things that you can do, tons of different options. I hope that I kind of inspired you with different selections that you can make to get some certain things done. So we've got just a couple minutes left, and I wanted to kind of get a little bit of giggle in your day. So let's move over to our top comedy 5. Okay, now you might be crafting under the influence of too much caffeine if you've bedazzled all your coffee mugs in less than 1 hour of waking up. Yeah, I think that, you know, I may be a little bit guilty of that. All right, number 4. You might be crafting under the influence of too much caffeine if you cut 50 squares and forgot what quilt they were for. Yeah, I think we've all been there. All right, number 3. You might be crafting under the influence of too much caffeine if you joined 8 Facebook craft groups at 2 a.m. and then again at 4 a.m. What are you doing on your phone, right? Get to bed, will ya? All right, number 2. You might be crafting under the influence of too much caffeine if you made 4 tote bags just to hold more tote bags. Yeah, I think I have 1 or 2 of those. I mean, you need a bag to hold the bags, right? Why not? All right, number 1, you might be crafting under the influence of too much caffeine if your hands are shaking like you're free motion quilting in the air. Yay! We all like to free motion quilt. You know, the kids think we're dancing, but we're actually practicing our free motion quilting. Why not? Alrighty. I hope you guys enjoyed that and I put a little bit of giggle in your day so you can start your day off and get going. Thank you all for tuning in today. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. If you are able to join us, we will be back here on Saturday for our Saturday Crafternoon show. So if you can go ahead and tune in for that, it'll be a lot of fun. Thank you again for tuning in and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye everyone.
So long for now, so long. Glad you stayed a while. Hope you liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space clutter-free. Hope your day is bright as can be. So long, my friends, till we craft once again. Bye now, stay crafting. See you tomorrow. So long, my friends, till we craft once again.